Cancer, welcome to your monthly sidereal forecast for October of 2015. My name is Athen. So another very busy month in the astrology. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and break it up into two parts. The easiest way to do this for this month is going to be looking at the first half of the month and then the second half of the month. And let's go ahead and get right into it. If you have any questions, let me know. This is, of course, for Sidereal Astrology, which is different from mainstream Western astrology. So do check your description down below for more information because your sign might be different if you're new to this channel. So let's go and look at it for you Cancers. Right at the beginning of the month, we're coming off of that solar eclipse energy of your second house. So it was transformational times last month, and for these next months going into the springtime of next year, about your finances, your sense of self-worth, your self-esteem in many ways. Everything that is about you going after the things you value in life. And you should be quite motivated still this month. You're going to have Mars here the whole month. Let me go and back up to the beginning. You're still going to have Venus here so you can enjoy it, and possibilities continuing to expand with Jupiter. So the first major transits at the first half of the month includes Saturn sextiling up to the North Node. And there's a lot of this third house energy for you, actually. The third house is about communications. It's about exchanges. It's about learning, teaching, writing. That's been the life path energy for the past couple of years for you. And now Saturn is in harmonious aspect to that North Node, helping you continue to share and expand with your writing or communicating, whatever it is you might be involved with in that sphere. It's also siblings and peers and even community stuff to a degree. Now, with that being said, those areas, it's great to put energy into that with Saturn. There's an opening there. There's that good energy of Saturn to get things done, to work at it. And again, it's in that third house. Now, Saturn is shifting signs this month. And for the first half, you'll be noticing this shift going into your fifth house. Now, Saturn has been in your fourth for about the past couple years, and he recently went into the fifth, then bounced back into the fourth, and now he's in the fifth here to stay. So the Saturn in the fifth house is all about you really solidifying your self-expression, your creativity, your passion in life, how to make that into something that's solid, long-lasting. If it's your career, making your career more, in tune with what you're about. Those kinds of things. And so it's taking all that seriously, even romance seriously, and usually the more playful stuff of life that is usually more lighthearted, seriously. That's Saturn in the fifth. So grounding it, solidifying it now for the next 2 years, so that you can build those foundations in your life, just like you were building foundations with your home and family, or whatever it was, even emotions the past couple of years. Now it's much more about the fire of life and how to transmit that fire out into the open. So that's Saturn sextiling the North Node. It's all about life path there. Mercury does go over that North Node here during the same time, at which point Mercury goes station direct after his 3-week-long retrograde of your third house. So perhaps you've been learning quite a bit about how you communicate, how you exchange, even learning more about how you think and your ideas and things like that. So that energy is starting to move forward now with Mercury going direct this month. Mercury also does rule your 12th house of spirituality and alone time, so that area is starting to move forward. If you've been noticing, that has been on a back burner for some of you. But yeah, it's all about growth this month. It's all about growth towards communicating, learning, sharing, synergizing, and all that third house stuff. Some of you might be writing a book, some of you might be reading, etc. Reading heavily, getting involved with practical things, learning practical knowledge. Mars opposes up to Neptune this first half, and this is going to be the balancing, just like it has been with your second and your eighth, the material with the non-material. There's a lot of motivation, like I said, for you to pursue your values in life, but at the same time, there's all this uncertainty about it. So have that faith and trust that everything is unfolding. And with the career stuff, also Mars rules your 10th house of your career. So, with your long-term plans, your public life, your legacy, your career, you're maybe feeling a little bit hazed about it, but again, that's okay. This first half, see how those areas are, of course, larger than self, and there is this faith that we can have relaxing into it that does create the flow and helps us connect to our intuition, helps us connect to our career in a more spiritual level, a more compassionate level. And again, that rest and relaxation can go long ways at your career. And also with your self-expression too. There's a lot of this shifting with your self-expression, with Saturn going in there. So with Mars in particular and with Neptune, it's that you're expressing yourself much more attunedly, spiritually, or with pause or with presence in the now moment. At least that's the best way to handle this, versus not knowing exactly where you are expressing yourself or how you're expressing yourself. It's much better to come at it with the the concept that there is so much more energy at work with what you're conveying than what you might be conceptually thinking about. All right, that's the kind of energy that's associated with this. So that Mars is also just energy in general. This month is going to be a very important month to get that rest and relaxation, as I've been saying for the other signs. Now, from the 6th to the 16th, again, this first half of the month pretty much, Jupiter trines up to Pluto. So there is a lot of support actually for this material, financial, or self-esteem part of your chart. While there is those oppositions, and it's mostly about not knowing where it's headed, but here, support with your routine, your health, your diet, all of that stuff. Pluto's very well aspected this month, so making change. I think a lot of you are ready to make some serious changes with those values or self-esteem this month, and you very well do have the support to do so, especially with Jupiter trining Pluto. That's Jupiter's expansion possibilities. Pluto is restructuring. So what can you restructure? Maybe what can you restructure in your routine so you have more energy management, time management, etc. From the 10th and the 11th, Venus does square up to Saturn. So there is this kind of, patient energy. It's the third time this has happened, actually, so it's nothing new here recently since you went retrograde over this position. So things relating to the group stuff or the home stuff, family stuff, be patient with it, right? Saturn is the, taking a step back for a second, maturity, patience, and then from there, growing in the long term versus the immediate gains or immediate pleasure of those things, because those are the areas you naturally enjoy very much, home, family, and then also, the group stuff or community things, since Venus does rule those parts of your chart. And that's, of course, very generally, depends on your personal chart, of course. So then on the 12th, we've got the new moon, which is taking place in that third house in Virgo. So there is new beginnings now involving these communications or these new ideas. Mercury was here, like I said, so you guys have been perhaps thinking quite a bit about the daily sphere of things, how to apply wisdom, spiritual knowledge perhaps into a practical reality, or philosophy into a practical reality. And now at the new moon, this is the time too for you Cancer, since it's your ruler. The energies are lower at this time. Around the 12th, but it's for you to go reflective, for you to think about, how you can communicate and exchange. A lot of this communicative sort of sphere shifting for you this month. And that's going to create new beginnings around those particular areas for you. And it is a challenging new moon. It's going to be squaring up to Pluto and opposing up to Uranus. So activating that Uranus-Pluto square energy. Uranus here in your 9th is that there is this freedom about travel, adventure, expansion, how to free yourself up from that, to get rid of some old energies associated with philosophies and travel and things like that, so you can have more freedom. And then Pluto over here in the 6th, again, is about change to your routine, which is constructively working with you this month if you're open to it. So be open to, your freedom of adventure, but remembering to stay connected and grounded to your daily responsibilities or your daily activities. And the challenge will be to implement the expansive freeing up energy that you're wanting and combine that with the daily stuff that you might be working on here with the exchanges or correspondence or whatever, or with the routine and stuff. Okay, that's been this also squaring up energy between freedom and work, which is needed for you the past couple of years of that constructive effort. That's the new moon. And then the second half of the month, let's go and shift gears. Things start to look quite different. Mars trines up to that Pluto. So again, more support coming in for you to take action and implement a lot of these, values or resources or whatever it is you're motivated to do this month. And this is a very empowering transit where we can all feel quite empowering. This is where your career stuff and maybe even your self-expression becomes quite deep, quite powerful. And if you've been thinking about making change to your career or anything that you're passionate about, this could be the month to do that, especially because Mars is going to be conjoining up to Jupiter at that same time, helping you expand that career and your self-expression, your passions in life. And the other thing too is you could be quite motivated to get the routine stuff taken care of, if I haven't already made that clear, because Jupiter rules that 9th house, Mars conjoining up to the ruler of your sixth house. There is a lot of drive, there's a lot of motivation for you to implement those daily activities. So that's that. And then the 16th and 17th, Venus then opposes up to Neptune. So again, balancing the material with the non-material, with the faith and trust there. And then Venus does trine up to Pluto a little bit later. Or this is going to be around the 23rd to the 25th. And that's nice, actually, for the group stuff, home and family things. And then on the 25th, Venus conjoins up to Jupiter, making it even more nice for that, for those areas of your life. And again, this could be opportunities with the second house, maybe financial or material or something like that. I would be on the lookout for that at the end of the month. And this has been already ongoing, though, with Jupiter here and Venus bouncing around Jupiter. And then the full moon takes place in Aries, and that's going to be on the 27th. That's in your 10th house of career. So there are a lot of things culminating with your career this month. And so I would think back to the past 6 months involving the big picture, legacy, public life, career stuff, because a lot of that could be coming to a fruition, or at the very least, you're having a good awareness of that this later part of the month, a good insight about that, and balancing your career with a lot of these ideas and concepts that you're working on, or the daily grind, the daily, things that you're exchanging or doing, synergizing, which is the third house. I say it very generally because it's very different for each of you. For some of you, you might be writing a book. For another, you could be learning, how to repair cars or something. It's a very practical part of the chart. 30th, and then going into next month, Venus does conjoin up to Mars. And that energy is quite motivating, again, for the group stuff, community stuff. Probably a lot of energy there to put into that. And you could be even enjoying the career stuff, could be opportunities in career. This is, again, in early November mostly, but I wanted to give you a heads up that we're going to have that conjunction at the very tail end of this month. But the highlight for you is always the lunar cycle. So new beginnings involving the communications this month, or your practical side of life. And then the culmination is in the career later in the month, especially things you've been involved with over the past 6 months there in the career front. All right, Cancer, so have a great month. Thanks for watching. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. If you'd like a personal reading, click the link down at the bottom of the page, and I'll see you all next time. Take care.